Welcome back, homebrewers, to the Malt YouTube channel. And today's video is part 2 of our most recent Brew With Us collaboration with Good Chemistry.
Here we go.
Rob, how did you find your trip to Bristol?
Bob and Kelly of Good Chemistry were absolutely awesome.
Yeah, they
and
were.
It made for a fantastic day, and I cannot wait to brew this beer.
No, neither can I.
The weather's turning, it's becoming slightly autumnal,
Yeah.
and we can really delve into these real awesome malts from Simpsons and these beautiful British hops. Can't wait.
And it's full on like pub classic, right?
Yeah.
And contrary to what you may have viewed if you've watched part 1, I was there just behind the camera, and the beers that we tried on the day were amazing.
Yeah.
We actually got to try off camera extra special straight out of the tank,
yeah.
which was a real joy. So we're really excited about this. And as to your point, Rob, the malt selection that goes into this recipe is amazing.
Actually, one of the things that I'm really most looking forward to is actually our customers being able to brew this beer, because we know from the type of recipe kits that we sell, it is a massively popular beer style,
Yeah.
ones that we sell in recipe packs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Loads of people like it. It's really up there. So yeah, really
and
looking forward to it.
this beer is an amazing example of the style.
Yeah,
so really looking forward to that.
Awesome. So what batch size are we brewing, James?
Well, I thought, Rob, we've got our brew school here. I've built a 23-litre recipe for this. So, you know, that's our starting point. We're a 23-litre batch today.
On the G30,
Yeah.
not the G40.
No. Why?
Well, I thought we could both have a keg.
Okay, well, luckily for you, I've scaled the recipe. So there's a 40-litre version as well. So
Awesome.
we can brew that on the G40. How's that sound?
Keg each.
Yeah,
Yeah,
perfect.
nice.
I know I'm not in this video.
No, you're not.
I still want a keg of the beer.
You want a keg of the beer as well?
Can you scale it up a bit more, please?
Well, guess what? I've got a 60-litre recipe here as well, so I'm going to brew it on the G70.
Awesome.
A keg each.
A keg each.
Brilliant. Right, you get on with it then.
Thank you.
All right, yeah. Thanks, Martin.
Right, sorry for that interlude,
I know, the rake always getting in the way when we're trying to do something.
but G70,
Yep.
3 kegs.
Yeah, that sounds like autumn in one brew day for all 3 of us, done and dusted, doesn't it?
Yeah, we're also going to have to can some, because obviously we need to take some to Bristol.
Yes, yes. So let's get the G70 filled up, heated up, and we can crack on and dough in.
Here we go. Here we go.
James, brew day done.
I know. What a brew day it's been as well. I mean, going from what I thought was going to be 23 litres this morning all the way up to 60, obviously it's a little bit more involved on a brew day, but we brewed it on the Grainfather G70.
James, we're lucky enough to have the equipment here to do it, so it's not a big issue, is it?
No, no. So we've transferred the wort into the fermenter. Again, we're using the big Grainfather SF70, hooked up to a glycol chiller. Super simple. We're not going to rush this. We're going to leave it to do its thing. And then afterwards, and once fermentation's finished, we're really going to make sure we focus on presentation of the beer.
This beer is going to be completely polished. I want that that looking absolutely delicious when that's poured out in a pint glass.
Absolutely. Well, on that, I mean, the brew day itself has gone really, really well. We've hit our numbers. In fact, we've slightly overshot the numbers, but I'm not going to tell Bob. I'm going to see if he can pick it out. And then the wort that was coming out of the kettle, I mean, it was so bright, and the colour is
colour's great.
like deep ruby red.
Yeah,
it's got that biscuity thing going on.
Yeah, all tea as well. It had like tasting the wort. It had a bit of tea about it. Yeah,
I mean, we're advocates for trying your beer all the way through production.
That's massively important.
Yeah. Normally, if you've got great tasting wort, as long as your fermentation goes to plan, you'll have great tasting beer, right?
Yeah, high hopes for this.
Yeah. So we're going to get this fermented, we're going to get it packaged, we're going to put some into some cans, and the next time you see us after this transition, we're going to be with Bob and Kelly trying our version of Extra Special.
Absolutely delighted to be back here in Bristol. We're here at the King's Head, and I'm joined by Bob and Kelly from Good Chemistry, and today we are trying both of our versions of Extra Special. So it's been a couple of months since we released the Extra Special recipe on our website and actually started selling your beer. And I must say, it's been a massive success. Actually selling the beer, people have loved it, but brewing the recipe as well, we're getting some absolutely fantastic feedback from people that are brewing the recipe. So thank you very much for that.
Oh, it's really exciting. Well, I mean, thank you guys for coming down and filming with us before, and for putting out the recipe. When we were first talking about it kind of way back at the start of the year, and you said, oh, we'd like to do one of your kind of multi-cask beers.
Yeah.
And, we weren't really doing them at that time of year, but now we've come into autumn and winter, and that's when, these multi-beers in cask are the ones that, that we love, and that, that's really perfect for what you guys want to do. So, we released the Extra Special, and we've got Bob's Best, which is our best bitter, and the Time Lapse, which is our kind of 3.8% bitter, and the three of them are kind of the main beers that you want to be drinking at this time of year, kind of going into winter. So we're really excited. It's so amazing that your customers have been so excited about the beer that we're so excited about as well. So it's great. And thanks for coming down again today as well. We're really excited about trying the beer.
Okay, so let's get into the nuts and bolts of this. So your beer that you've brewed that's served out of cask here in the King's Head is this beer here on our right, and ours is this beer here on the left. So we've actually, in the last video, we said that we were going to can our beer and bring cans of it. But actually, since Bob offered a hand pull on the bar, we thought it would be rude to bring cans. So we actually bought a keg, and we've connected the keg up to a hand pull so that we can pour the beer, which has been absolutely fantastic, obviously.
Brilliant. Good way to compare them as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Ours isn't a cask beer; it's out the keg, but it's straight out the hand pour. It's what a delight of a way to serve it. So I guess let's try the commercial version first. Yeah.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
So I mean, this is the beer that we're used to drinking. We've been brewing this since the end of 2016, I think. So it's a beer that we both know very well. We've canned it for a long time. Well, we're used to bottle it, and now we can it as well. So it's the beer that we've always been able to kind of take home and drink lots of. And I mean, it's one of my absolute favourites, and one of our customers' favourites as well. So
just as an aside, I know, Bob, that you were saying that you didn't can it last year, and there was uproar because people couldn't drink it at home.
Yeah, it wasn't the most popular decision. But we canned it this year. And so everyone's happy at the brewery. We're able to take it home, drink it at Christmas, so that's good.
Awesome.
Cask beer is awesome, but it is difficult to take home with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we've got here is it's really fruity, really stone fruit, really rounded. I don't want to be the one that says really balanced beer, but there's no. For this beer, that's a word that's really bouncing out.
And loads of different sugars. I think like dark sugar kind of flavours that come through with the fruit. I think it's really nice.
Well, that's one of the things that we were talking about in the last video, where you're layering those malt flavours. And I must say that DRC is absolutely, although it's not in there as a massive, a really high percentage, it is a flavour that you can pick out. It's that stony, plummy fruit flavour that it brings is absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, definitely.
So a really nice, smooth, rounded mouthfeel, cracking beer.
Thank you.
Let's try ours.
Yeah.
Here we go. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers. I mean, the first thing you have to say is that they look
Yeah.
almost identical.
Yeah.
The colour's bang on.
Yeah, really beautiful. It's got a kind of rich sort of redness to it when you
Really
hold
deep,
it up to the light.
really deep
And
red.
Really,
Yeah,
I mean, you can't really see it when you just look at it, but if you hold it up to the light,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's in this one just
Yeah.
as much as that, definitely.
Right, so before we get dug in, let's just talk about a little bit about our fermentation profile for this. Obviously, you know exactly how you brewed yours because you do it. That's your thing. That's what you do. With ours, let's just say we fermented in a freezing cold warehouse, and we have temperature control. We can do that, but it was so cold we did actually struggle a little bit with the fermentation temperature. So we got it up to sort of 18 degrees or so, but it didn't sort of do that free rise. Start at 20 and let it rise up to 22 or 23 or so, which is, I think, what probably you do.
That's right.
So that can change the ester profile of the beer. Apart from that, we followed your recipe absolutely to the letter.
Excellent.
And I think that's why the colour is, it's just like, I mean,
Yeah.
we've used exactly the same malts in exactly the same proportions, and I think that the colour is absolutely bang on.
Yeah, definitely. I think with yours, you can tell that the temperature didn't quite get up there. Ours, we started at 20 degrees and then let it go up to 22. And in the tanks that we use, we can get away with a bit higher temperature because they're so wide and they're open tops. They tend to let the heat out more than you would in like a conical or something. And there's a lot less pressure on the beer because the amount of beer in a column is lower because of the width of the tanks.
Yeah, sure.
So there's a bit more fruitiness, I'd say, in ours, which I think comes from the yeast.
Yep.
And it adds like an extra layer in, which is missing a bit from this one. But there's no kind of off flavors. There's no kind of weirdness to it. I don't think there's just an element that's missing, which I think if it hadn't been freezing in your warehouse, then you would have got that.
I think the beers are extraordinarily close.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very much so. And and that's excellent homebrewing on your part and putting together a great recipe. You've taken the recipe from what we do, but it still had to be kind of changed down and scaled and altered and stuff to be homebrew sized. So I think it's really great. I hope that the people who've bought the kit and brewed it have been able to kind of try the beer alongside, if they've bought cans and stuff, try it alongside. And I hope you've had some successes as well. It's really exciting.
This is exactly why we do this, and this is exactly why it's so fantastic to have breweries on board, because it's all about us imparting, you imparting knowledge to us and then us passing that on to our customers. The better beer that people can brew at home, the better the beer market is for all of us. So it's a real winner when we can really prove a recipe as being a homebrew success. And I think that's what we've really done with this one, with being able to emulate that commercial product.
Yeah.
What a delicious beer.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, the beer that you've brewed is lovely. So how much of this did you brew?
We were going to brew a standard like 23 litre 40 pint batch, and then I decided that I want a keg of it at home, so that was going to be then a 40 litre batch, and then someone else popped up and said I want a keg of it as well, so we ended up brewing 60 litres.
That's quite a lot of beer, but this is the thing, this is the thing that happened when we didn't can it last year. And it wasn't, we had messages on social media and people saying that they wanted it, but it was the team who said, at the brewery, who said, okay, so no cans for me to kind of take home as underfills or anything like that. So kind of understand you guys being like, well, I want some as well. It's just a delicious beer.
You can't have too much, can you?
No, you can't. So this will be available in pubs it's just a once a year brew that you do.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, we brew it. You know, it's a seasonal beer, so we brew it through the winter, so it's available, across the winter. The cans are on our web shop as well as yours, and available, you know, across kind of Bristol as well. And then in cask. I mean, come down to the King's Head and drink it here in Bristol, or obviously at the Good Measure as well, which is our other pub. But it's it's out across Bristol, and if you're lucky, it's kind of some places outside of Bristol as well. But if you get to try it on cask, we think that's the best way to enjoy it. But if you're not lucky enough, then buying cans from you guys or direct from us is just as good, really.
just to get back just for a second back to the actual recipe and how it's served. So obviously this is on cask here, and this is the way that we're drinking your version of it here. What difference, Bob, do you think that's made to the beer? Obviously we're serving it out of a keg, so we force carbonated a keg, very, very lightly force carbonated a keg, but obviously yours is finished in a cask with live yeast in. What difference do you think that's made to the beer?
It's only very slight. It's mostly that the beer just comes across as a bit rounder, a bit softer. It's kind of difficult to say exactly why as well, because there's not anything that if you pull it through a hand pull and it comes out of a keg or it comes out of a cask, there's nothing really that would jump at you that says, oh well, that's obviously going to be like this and that's obviously going to be like that. But there's a definite difference, and getting it out of a cask, something to do with the secondary fermentation in the cask that gives it a softer edge. You don't get a little kind of acid bite from the
CO2, indeed,
and it just changes it into a kind of softer, rounder package, really.
I've often noticed this before, actually, about beers that are served from cask, and I describe it as like a creamy. It's almost like a texture more than a flavour, and it's a definite point of difference, and it does round off the flavour more.
Absolutely, I think there is a difference here in the serving temperature as well. Ours is a little bit warmer than yours because you had to walk here from Swindon with it.
Yeah, carrying a keg.
It's not warm out today. So that helps it kind of come across a little bit rounder and softer.
Sure.
But also, I think beer from cask having that kind of creaminess that you talk about and that roundedness is also, one of the great things about cask beer.
Absolutely.
And one of the things that, we kind of talk about it a lot, but it's one of the things that's really important to supporting cask beer and pubs in this country, and one of the things that's really important to us in continuing to brew cask beer. We've done it since we started. It's it's really important that that's key parts of our beer range, and also why we're really pleased that you chose kind of one of our favourite, one of our sort of flagship, best known cask beers to recreate on your homebrew kit, and that that your customers have got to recreate as well. So I mean, that it's that cask kind of magic, I suppose, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So just wanted to say a massive thank you to both of you. Your generosity in providing the recipe for us and our homebrew customers is massively appreciated. The more knowledge that we can pass on to our homebrew customers, the better beer that they brew, and that helps the whole beer business. So it's absolutely fantastic that we've been able to do this. We've really enjoyed the whole project. It's been brilliant. We love selling the recipe kit, and we also love selling your beer. So thank you very much for that.
Well, as a former home brewer,
I know.
we love to pass on that kind of information and our knowledge. And it's been so lovely to have you down. Thank you for coming to the brewery to brew the beer with us. Thank you for bringing your own version.
That's fantastic.
And for bringing it back for us to try. It's been really lovely. So
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Cheers.